folks, we're back with another one. Yes, it's been a few weeks since we last chatted, partially because I've had a bit of a hair emergency, as you can tell. I thought it would be a good idea to quote unquote use my instincts to recreate a beautiful Christmas fade that I had just a few weeks ago. Apparently, you can't use your instincts if you've never cut hair before. So that was my bad. I've always wanted to just shave it all off anyway, but I'm gonna post a picture of what my 2K player looks like with the shaved head, and you'll understand why my wife, my mom, and my mother-in-law are not on board with it. So now that we have explained part of the reason why I've been missing, we have so much to catch up on. So we're changing the format up a little bit. If it's your first time here, appreciate you stopping by. Please subscribe, because in the new year, I'm going to be putting out content on a much more frequent basis. And also, I'm going to be posting longer videos. We're going into 2024 like it's our year. Now that we got all the obligatory intros out of the way, we're going to start this video talking about the most recent major headline in Mike Vrabel being fired by the Titans. If you've been watching me long enough, you know that I love to shit on NFL owners, because I just think there are some of them that are the worst in all of sports. One of the things you'll notice about me as well, I can't stand it when teams who basically have no history and no legitimate credibility goes and fires a top 6 head coach. I think the move is absolutely idiotic, and I always want to know, who do these teams and who do these owners think they are? It's a bit delusional to think that they're going to be able to fire Mike Vrabel, who I think is one of the best coaches in the league. And yes, he's had a down 2 years, but once again, we know, how much are you going to be able to get out of Ryan Tannehill? Let's just be honest, right? You're bringing in a new rookie QB. You drafted a QB last year in hopes that he'll be able to take the reign from Tannehill. But Vrabel has come in and made that operation legitimate. He's been there for multiple seasons where they've gotten deep into the playoffs, and that defense, which is his side of the ball, is very cleaned up and at times really makes some big and transformative plays. I don't even know the name of this owner. I didn't even know her name until I got word that they fired him. There was conversations that that they were going to mutually part ways, which would make way more sense. But for them to fire him, absolutely hate the move, because it's not like Jim Harbaugh's walking through that door. There's a bunch of jobs that are way better than the Tennessee Titans. He likely would go to the Patriots before he would go to the Titans. And while I have you on this topic, do you remember a month ago when I said this about David Tepper? Episode of NFL owners single-handedly and completely ruining their franchises? We have this.
The owner is an issue to me. When you have a super fan as an owner who wants to play with the team like it's a toy, you have a lot of issues, and I think this team is much like that. All right.
David Tepper continues to make the most convincing case for least self-awareness in the history of the world. I have no idea what this dude is looking for. As these owners get richer and richer, it seems like they're just going to play Monopoly with these pieces, just like Ryan Clark said. They become more and more out of touch and just egregiously mess up and pay their way out of it. Well, he's back at it again, folks.
The Panthers owner, David Tepper, throwing a drink on a Jags fan from his booth. Right now, it's unknown exactly what prompted the action, what the two said to each other. Maybe he was mad at the Panthers offense. The person who took the video said the Jags security, though, did ask them for that video. Now, the Panthers and Jags have not responded to a request for comment at this time, and we're still waiting to see if there's any, repercussions for
There's a lot going on in that video.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Throwing a drink on a fan seems like the lowest of the low. He sits up there from his throne in the owner box, looking down on the fans, and it's just completely egregious. A lot of folks in the media are saying, who in the world would want to take that job? But I question, how they're going to be able to get 53 guys on the same page when there's no stability, there's no roadmap for how they plan to improve operations, and we know that it starts from the top and it trickles down. David Tepper has got to get his emotions in check, and he's got to understand at the end of the day that this is a business and he needs to grow up. You can't be the face of a franchise who has significantly run that thing into the tank and then now be just imploding in multiple areas, firing your coach in the middle of the season, throwing drinks on fans, getting chippy, and not understanding the temperature of the room. For him to say, well, nobody ever leaves me. Well, this is a completely different situation, and I don't understand how he doesn't have a single person in his life that can tell him that he either needs to stay his ass home and watch the games there, or he needs to get his shit in check. Because it's an absolute embarrassment, and he continues to put his franchise quarterback in unfavorable situations, and it's going to attract 0 free agents. It's going to make 53 guys in the locker room not want to play and not feel like there's a sustained path to success. So we're closing with the Jameis Winston experience that I dealt with for 5 years in Tampa. There's quite a bit of nuance here in this clip.
Because the play was victory, but I also explained to DA that it was a team decision. And I think when you have a team morale, and I asked the guys, I say, guys, like, what do you want to do? You know how much Jamal means to this team, and I understood from DA's perspective. So I give him that. Yeah, but DA didn't condone that at all. You know, he didn't. However, we decided as a team to do it, and man, we got an interception to the 1 yard line. Yeah. You know, like, so if we would have scored, would it still would have been disrespectful? You know, so
Tyron wasn't in on it, was he?
No, Tyron was not in. No, like, it was an offensive team discussion. However, when you return the ball to the 1 yard line, you have that opportunity. We just had the opportunity, and we decided.
Do you think it's the kind of thing though that is forgotten fairly quickly, or you know what I mean?
I think it should be forgotten, especially when the score is already 41-17. So I don't know how much worse it can get. But I got a ton of respect for Arthur Smith and the coach that he is. I think they do some incredible things. I didn't want to disrespect. That was not my intention. My intention was to lead the team that I've been with the entire year. And we made a collective decision that we wanted to get one of our guys who they fight with blood, sweat, and tears every game in the end zone. And I'm going to feel good about that. Yeah.
You have dudes like Shannon Sharp getting on, obviously former players. You have to respect their opinion more than the average person. And for him to say, I would cut Jameis Winston tomorrow based off of the way things played out in that clip. Listen, I respect that opinion. I want to dig in a little bit more to not so much the nuclear option, but just the fact and the reason why Jameis never got another chance at a starting role, why he didn't have a market. He kind of comes off like a caricature, like a very unserious person. I understand if you're not someone from the sticks in Alabama, how the way he talks, the way he delivers, the way that he seems to be joking to the rest of us. I get that might not land for someone who's not from the country per se. But at the same time, Jameis has always struggled as a decision maker, right? There was someone in the comments of the original video that said, folks are discounting the way that they lined up in a victory formation, but then still ran a touchdown. I don't think that's a small thing. I think that's a very big thing, right? Jameis's argument is the team, the offense, decided that we wanted to get Jamal a touchdown. I get that. That's, a beautiful story. At the end of the day, then don't get in victory formation, right? Because it does land wrong. It lands almost as sneaky. And I think a lot of people don't think that he deserves the benefit of the doubt, right? Just from his history. I do think he was genuine when he was saying that he apologizes to Dennis Allen and that he apologizes and respects Arthur Smith. I get that. But it's things like this, right? They land like they're out of touch. They land like they're immature and that he hasn't improved his decision making. He somehow made it about himself, right? He wanted to get the touchdown because he was the leader of the offense. And he kind of made that clear when he said, this is a team I've been with all year. And so it's clear he wanted to make his impact and his stamp on things. So be it. But at the end of the day, this is why Jameis is never going to get the reins to a franchise because he just kind of comes off as a clown.